Hey, Salado Youth families, hope that you're doing well wherever you are, whenever you watch this video. So I am here in the Yak recording today. Hope that you have had a wonderful Christmas. And now we're moving into the season of Epiphany. If you don't know what Epiphany is, it's from a word that means the unveiling, the revealing. This is the season that celebrates the revealing of Jesus as the Messiah, as the Son of God. And the first story we encounter in the season of Epiphany is one that you're probably really familiar with if you've spent any time in church, or maybe you're not. I don't know. We'll start from there. It's the story in Matthew 2, verses 1 through 12. So grab your scripture and let's look at this story. This is the story of the Magi, the wise men from the east who come to Jerusalem because they saw the star of Jesus and they knew that a newborn king was in Israel. So they came to honor him. Now, when they show up, they immediately go to the capital where you think you would go to find a king. And the king at the time, King Herod, realizes, wait, something is amiss because I'm the king and these guys are showing up and they want to know who the real king is, and that's me. But they're insisting it's someone else. There's been a new king born. So Herod doesn't want that to happen. So he sends the wise men to find this king and to report back to him so that he can go worship him, hashtag kill him. And the Magi go to see Jesus and they give him the gifts that we all know from the song gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And then they are warned in a dream not to go back to Herod. And so they leave and go home. And that's the basics of this story. But we all know the story. We've probably seen the wise men in our nativity scenes that we have at home or that we see at church. But what does this really mean? And what does it have to do with us today, besides it just being a quaint little story that we get the tradition of giving gifts from? Well, I think there's a few things I want to point out that the term to seek is found a lot in this story. So I want to look at that theme of seeking. And the wise men, the Magi from the east, it doesn't really say they're men, we assume they are. They came looking for Jesus because they were looking for something. They were observant of nature around them, of the sky, so that they knew when there was something unusual happening that they should be aware of. So I think something we all should ask ourselves is, are we seeking God in our day to day, in the everyday life that we're in? The Magi were looking at the sky every night, trying to look for signs in the heavens. Most likely they were priests of a different religion, but they were seeking God in some way. And I think many of us today probably aren't even really seeking God all that often. We're not looking for where God is working. And the human brain is interesting because the human brain tends to see what the human brain's looking for. And if we're not even being cognizant of where God is working and where God is present in our lives, we're probably going to miss out some. One of my favorite stories that kind of points this out to me is my oldest son and I one time were walking through the parking lot, going to Walmart to get some things, and it was right about sundown, and the sky was just beautifully lit up by this sunset with the clouds and everything. And we stopped for a second because Zach pointed it out to me and he said, "Look at that sky, it's beautiful." And I was like, it really is. And then he said, "And look at all these people just walking around that didn't even notice it." And I think that teaches us something about the ways that God's trying to reach us that we're just simply not noticing. So question one we should ask ourselves is, are we seeking? The second question I think we should ask ourselves is, why are we seeking? Are we seeking God because of selfish reasons, because we want God to make our lives better? Are we seeking Jesus because we want him to help us in whatever way? Or like Herod actually is seeking Jesus in order to destroy him. Now you're like, Paul, I would never seek Jesus to destroy him. But sometimes I think we're afraid, just like Herod was. Herod was acting out of fear We are afraid of what really seeking Jesus will mean in our lives because it's going to force us to change. We can't just be the same people that we were before. We can't do the same things that we used to do before. We're going to have to move and we're going to have to change. And that feels uncomfortable. What would it mean to my life if I really seek Jesus? Will I have to go to boring church more? Will I have to study my Bible more? Will I have to be kind to the kids around me that I don't really want to because I don't like them? It might mean those things. It might mean that we give away more of our wealth to others. If we follow the path of Jesus, it's going to change us. And sometimes we don't want that out of fear because just like Herod, we want to be our own ruler. We want to control everything ourselves. Or are we like the wise men who seek Jesus because they want to honor him, because they love him, because they want to show him the respect that is due to his position as the new king, as the ruler of our hearts, as the one who has come to show us the way to God, the way to truly live? So I just hope this short time will help you to think about these questions. And you've got time, school's not going on. Pull out your journal, think about these questions, and write your answers. Am I really seeking Jesus? And if so, why am I seeking him? Spend some time reflecting on that this Epiphany season. We will talk to you soon. Hope this word has found you blessed. Know that you are loved. We will talk to you soon.